These forests were decimated. At times there's probably nothing here. From early American history, the forests were clear-cut. Charcoal and railroad markets that took all the wood off of the landscape. In the years since, they've been continued to be harvested. It becomes very clear the impacts are still there. Every stitch of property you're on has logging roads on it. That activity has occurred over the last 100 years. I don't want to see a mountain cleaned off with no vegetation and no forest, no trees, no animals. The more people that think about these property management ideas that benefit, greater society, there's benefits for everybody. CNX is an oil and gas company. We're an energy company. We're 100% focused in Appalachia. CNX owns close to 140,000 surface acres. And there's a lot of good things we can do on those properties. Stream and wetland mitigation banks, big land conservation, and then obviously a forest carbon project like this. Outbound 22. And there's a very large long-term timber lease on this property. It's existed for years and it had a very long lifespan left on it. So one of the first steps to make this project happen was to buy out that lease. This is going to be its first chance to really heal, to grow like a forest should grow. So part of the process that we worked through at CNX was to understand the forests we had, understand the assets we had, and start to look for project partners that were like-minded, had similar values and similar goals. ClimeCo has very similar values, and they clearly had experience and knowledge on how to effectively assess the acreage and manage the project and start to market and make these credits available for other users.
ClimeCo is a global sustainability company aiming to help our clients toward a low-carbon future. We are standing on one of the many parcels in the area owned by CNX that are used for natural gas production. The activity in this case is reduced harvest, so that additional carbon is stored in the biomass of the trees. ClimeCo has particular expertise in improved forest management projects. It's been really interesting to observe how this sort of an ecosystem functions and to figure out how to responsibly intervene in the case where an ecosystem needs to be restored. We initially established a forest carbon inventory using a geospatial approach, and as the project continues, we monitor changes in forest carbon biomass using a plot network. This project generates VCUs, or verified carbon units, that will be issued through the Vera Carbon Registry. Our role is to transact the credits, to connect potential buyers with the credits generated by the project, and to guide CNX through that transaction process.
This area has a very rich amount of gas and resources, and we're able to put our operation in the midst of this and still do a forest carbon project.
A project like this allows them to continue their business model of generating natural gas, but what goes above and beyond is how they manage the land besides the natural gas production.
We've worked with a lot of different organizations across our footprint. We have a good relationship with the Elk Foundation and Virginia Department of Wildlife on elk reintroduction, which has been really successful.
In 2012, 13 and 14, they had a total release of 75 elk. Estimated population now is over 250. Most of the land's mine reclamation. I mean, just seeing the partnerships between Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, CNX, the Nature Conservancy, and folks, it's nice to see all of them come together. With CNX, they work here all the time, but they're all the time putting back in it. So it tells you that they're interested in seeing the communities grow and the long investment that they put here. It's just very gratifying to see the environmental side of it, to the tourism side of it, and just engaging the public in what we do for a living.
We've got elk over 10 or 15,000 acres of this part of the county. We have ATV trails, we have hiking trails. There's 3,800 acres public accessible lands that are right here immediately in our vicinity. And again, it's all on previously mined lands that were mountaintop removed in the early 2000s and reclaimed. And it's definitely a unique site.
So the company has a vision called Appalachia First that basically says where we live and work, we'll also not only invest our time, our resources, but we invest our money and give back to the local communities. So, it's important to us that we work to uphold the nature of the environment. When we go into an area, we try to improve it beyond what it was before we went there. Not only are we doing it for ourselves, but we're doing it for the generations behind us as well.
We want the jobs, we want the opportunities, we want the positive impacts here within Appalachia. We want to expand that, we want to make it better. There isn't a one-stop fixes everything solution. This is part of the equation, and the time to set up nature-based solution projects is now, and we know it works. It's proven, it's science, it's not guessing.
This project is a great example of a natural gas company continuing to support the local community and Appalachia as a whole to create a more sustainable future.